Marcus seems to think our internet's fine here, so
You're better now.
I
Um,
maybe it
yeah,
was me. I don't know whether it's me or not me. I don't know. Weird. I'll close my whatever I have. It's still open here.
that's what I was doing. I was like, do I have any random apps up that have like been mysteriously on for a couple of years?
Yeah, exactly, right? I
It
mean,
seems like you're a lot better now.
oh, I did open the door. I don't know why.
Sometimes that's what does it.
Okay. Oh gosh. Good to see ya.
It's great to see you too, man. Shenanigans.
Shenanigans. Exactly. Good name. Good. I love that. I love that word.
I do too. Old timey words like that, shenanigans, tomfoolery, hornswoggling. I love all that stuff.
Wait till your son, wait till your son's older just to shame you for using such ancient words.
Dad, no one says zany anymore. Like, we do in this house, son. He's right here, by the way. I got
Yeah. What do you get? You got like 7 minutes before before he wakes up.
hopefully he's in the let's see, he's almost two. So he's in the 3 hour block nap. I remember that about being a newborn, where it was like every 90 minutes, every couple hours, there's the naps, and now it's like the 1 3 hour one. Um, and so, but again, he's at that age, or even that's kind of a crapshoot a little bit.
Exactly.
He's at the phase now where sometimes he gets his legs stuck in the bars.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, oh, son, dad, that used to happen to dad during his drinking days. But no, to repeat the question I had earlier when we were talking about your movie, that there are certain things that pop up in movies that I do gravitate towards now. Part of that being dad stuff. You know, I was mentioning to you earlier, like when I went to go see Fantastic Four, and it had the stuff in there about him being an older dad and a first time dad, and me really kind of enjoying that. And that's what I liked about the beginning of your film, where it's, you know, he's talking about he's being a Mr. Mom now. Your character Cash is, and already you sold me that Mr. Mom's one of my favorite movies. So you being a dad yourself, do you like that kind of thing where here's this character who's hanging out with his kids, you know, kind of like videos you have on your Instagram and stuff like that, but then the call comes in and finally dad's been looking for some action. I've got to go out there and save the world.
I mean, I think as a parent, like more and more you'll figure this out a little bit, is that you start to feel like you kind of like you go it's almost like when you get married too. It's an alternate reality, right? So
Hmm.
you're going along with your life and then you add that partner in and now all of a sudden you become this thing, this right, this entity, and now your whole life starts to mold around your wife. Now you have to go out on double dates, or or it's like or it's like your time off, you get to go and hang out with the guys.
Yeah.
But and then now you're about to enter new play dates and all these other things that you will do as a dad. And so but I still think there's especially as we keep going in it for so long, there's that other part of us that's always like, man, remember when I did those other things and they were, brought me, or I feel like I was at least lending to society in some way, or giving, doing something productive that mattered of some sort, whatever that was, whether it was building your business. And maybe that's a man thing. I don't know, but
No, that's a good point because that is true. Like there are by the time we had Jack, we'd been doing this for 20 years. And certainly I don't have the same kind of ways that it was time consuming as it was, you know, 20 years ago when YouTube first started and stuff like that. Also, I always kind of knew that if I had a son, I would be a little bit older. Like I'm in my 40s right now. And so there isn't a lot that I miss beforehand. I mean, other than I guess it was easier to make a schedule back then, but like other than that, I was a big partier when I was young, and I aged out of that
That's probably good.
before Jack was even born. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So because of that, I can give Jack some advice when he gets a little bit older.
Pace yourself.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
We'll just
the
start with
things that I wish I had that someone had told me when I was young.
that.
But no, what was it about this project? Because I didn't know until you had sent me a message that it was outside the faith genre.
Yeah.
Was that did that make it harder to get done? Was that something you'd been wanting to do for a while, and this project was perfect for that?
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it in the faith-based industry, you have the guardrails up.
Yeah,
And you have to fit, especially too, we with Sony acquiring PureFlix in the end of 2020, and so the last 3 years, 2020 to 2023, we were making content for the platform. So in turn, it was kind of similar, except now we also had a studio that we had to it just became even more corporate, right?
yeah.
And so every project had to be go through all of these things to get done and approvals and I mean, obviously it makes sense in a lot of ways because you're not spending, you're not raising the money, you're spending, the studio's money, and now you got all those upper heads that also have to account for where did this money go? Um,
Yeah.
they kinda do it, but a lot of them don't do it very well. But so I think I enjoyed the process of just like dreaming up a thing, working with my buddies, and then of course having this straight up action and not having to go by a formula, so to speak. I mean, we went by an action formula, but we didn't. It was a different formula.
And even then, I like that if you do go into it and you don't know that it's not in the faith-based genre, you'll figure it out in the first minute of the film. I, I had a really good time watching this. Like from the opening scene where it starts out, the shot of the water, and then there's the girls on the yacht. And when I was first watching it, I thought, oh, it's like the girls on the yacht. It's kind of like opening credits or that it would be like opening credits, like B-roll, like the opening of Miami Vice or something like that.
Right.
But no, this turns into on this yacht. This turns into like a special forces slasher movie in the first like 5 minutes of it.
Funny.
And that was consistent through it because when I was watching it, I was thinking, this is actually pretty unpredictable. I don't know who's gonna die at the end of these scenes. Cash does something a lot of characters in this movie does something that some other action heroes kind of forget about, which is that the person you're fighting against could come back even if you shoot them once. So the characters in this movie make sure that when they're on the ground, this person is staying on the ground.
Shoot him in the head, double tap him in the chest.
Yeah. Like, yeah. It's like there could be a zombie outbreak any minute, like just for safety.
That's funny.
Did you put in any like for fans of your other movies, were there any kind of Easter eggs in there for people?
So that's a great question. I don't actually know. I mean, I'm trying to think of it. Did we have? I have to go back and watch it to. I mean, we had a lot of the same people, that I've
Yeah.
done movies with. Like, it wasn't a whole different group. Like the director Matt Shapiro, we did the Love on the Rock together, and we just did Nothing's Impossible, and we'd done Finding Glove and Quarantine. Like we had done a bunch of stuff. He's been a buddy of mine for 20 some years. So that wasn't new. G-Rod, the bad guy, the bald guy that's in every bad, I don't know if you
Yeah.
recognize him, but if you watch, like he's in everything these days.
Yeah, one of those actors where I couldn't pinpoint the title. I just knew
Yeah.
that I've seen him in a lot of
Yeah,
stuff.
from Breaking Bad to Better Call Saul to like
Yeah.
he's in so many things. Red One, like he's whatever. The guy's just nonstop works. But G-Rod is his name. And G was in Beckman. I don't know if you remember Beckman. In the fight scene with the four guys when they're trying to torture a guy, a poor innocent guy, and do a video, you
I
know.
remember. Yeah.
Yeah. And then that guy's in there. And so I met him on that movie and I'd not worked with him for 4 years. And he came on and said, "Hey, let me be the stunt coordinator for
Hmm.
and I'll because I'm trying to, merge into that world." And so I was like, "Yeah, our little movie, sure, come on, come on and play with us." And he was great. He introduced me to the Miami folks,
Yeah.
and Juan Bofil came on, who also that guy's done a million things and is just an unbelievable stunt guy. So I'm proud of the stunts in this. It's more than I had done in previous years, I felt like. And so it was fun. The action's fun.
Do you have any like sort of traditions when you finish a pretty physical role between this and Beckman and Revelation Road? Whenever you finish like a very like action fight oriented movie, are you like, all right, here's my week of a bunch of fast food, and I'm just gonna binge watch some cooking shows and like Great British Bake Off is back on. I'm gonna just kind of settle in for a bit.
Hilarious. No, I'm not actually. Yeah, I'm not a cooking. I don't ever watch cooking shows. My kids will attest I'm a really bad cook. I can do grill. I can grill. That's the extent of my cooking. So maybe I should do that at the end of my next action movie, but
Take it from me. I love cooking shows, and it is not in the slightest made me a better cook.
you know what? I was at the gym yesterday. I look over on the tread, because I always elliptical. I always do that for 15 minutes before I go and lift.
Mhm.
And look over, and the guy is watching a cooking video on the elliptical. I was like, huh, okay, maybe there's something to this. And here it is. This is like day two, right? Like, cook, maybe I'm supposed to. Maybe the universe is saying, hey,
He's at
cooking shows.
he's at the gym planning his cheat meal for the weekend.
It was some kind of like pumpkin. It was like a pumpkin soup or something. I was like, I was like, I don't understand that, but okay.
I've seen that episode. I know exactly what he was making. That was like the one thing that I did like okay at was when I made like a pumpkin chili, but it was like it was it was also kind of like a one of those science experiments that went well, but you don't know exactly what the right concoction was. So when you replicated it, it was like, why does this taste like chicken soup now?
That's hilarious.
It I can tell that you have like a lot of fun no matter what genre you do, whether it's rom-com, drama, comedy. But it does seem like your favorite is probably action. Is that like correct?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my partners are like, so wait, what are you doing now? Like, I just finished the Dolph Lundgren movie and Tyrese
Nice.
Gibson, right? We just shot that for in South Carolina, and and that thing is like even the body count is like so it makes Line of Fire look like a tame action movie,
Hmm.
comparatively. And my partners are just like, I don't I'm trying to figure out what are you doing, like what happened to you, like in the way that but in testament to you, like you're one of the few people who actually has kind of tracked along with me along my action background. And I mean it started in 2000 in Mercy Streets. I'm sure you never saw that one, but that's
I
like a
did, yeah.
oh, that's super cool. Well, that's that's John Gunn. John Gunn wrote and directed that. Who now is the one? He's the showrunner, the writer, director of the House of David on
Oh,
it.
really?
Yeah, that guy's like he's done a lot of different things. But I mean, but from all the way from back from 2000. So I've been doing action for 25 years, just not in the vein of, of the mainstream, uh, I guess more, I'm just not recognized as a guy who does action. But I don't have any, I don't ever use stunt. The only stunt like guys that I use are when I have to fall down a stairs or go out a window or like a stunt. But like
Yeah.
fight sequences, I do all on my own. So
And you can tell when you watch it. You can tell like the actors are there. That's not any kind of stunt double doing all of this. Is there now that this one is again outside the usual genre, would there be another genre that maybe you would like to take on, even if it's just like a one-off? Like, would you do like now I want to do a horror film or something like that?
yeah, I mean, I did one horror movie in my life, and it and and I never completed it. And it is the only movie that I produced and shot and starred in that I didn't finish because
Really?
yeah, we had partners in it, and it ended up I could not for the life of me finish that movie. Like, I mean, I tried because I would come back to it every 2, 3 years and go, I'm just gonna finish this thing because it's kind of it was a cool concept, and
Yeah.
we shot 80, 70% of the movie. Like it should be done. And for whatever reason, however you want to, think into it, I believe that I just was, a higher power was stopping me.
Oh,
Like honestly, I think God just was like, yeah, I'm drawing a line here. We're not gonna do that one. And I tried, like I literally
yeah.
tried to release this horror movie. So and quite frankly, I don't know. I just have zero interest in horror.
Oh, okay.
Other than to finish the movie because I've never
Yeah.
not finished a movie. That's the only movie I've never not finished.
What kind of horror movie was it? Was it like
But more on the thriller side.
okay.
It was like a curse.
Yeah.
This team had come back into this place. They were camping, and then a curse, and then I go insane. Actually, I have the thing, and at one point in time, Andrea, my ex-wife, is in it, and I stab her with a
Oh,
like. I mean, we're stabbing. I'm stabbing everybody. You know.
yeah. I want to see this movie.
I mean, it was a pretty cool looking movie. It was a pretty cool movie that just and to this day, like now it's like caught up in some kind of again, it was the partners that were involved really disabled it because I couldn't talk them into ever coming getting along with each other to
Yeah.
out of the like it's at some post facility in Hollywood and locked because there's money owed on it that I didn't realize somebody had built up a bill and the bill went higher and higher and
Hmm.
anyway. So
Now it's piqued my interest even more. Like I've got a fascination with like movies that are just in a vault, like the day the clown cried or something like
yeah,
that.
David A.R. White's horror vault movie.
Oh, here's what you got to do though. Since legacy sequels are really big right now, like legacy sequel to like Murder Cycle.
Oh gosh.
I can
The
tell
fact
you're
that you know
excited for
that
this.
one. See, this is what I'm like, you're awesome. Like when I have dementia or someday when I can't remember, I'm gonna call you. Hey, Brad, could you remind me what I actually did?
I would be grateful. You are the Here's what's funny. You're the second person to tell me that. I, I met Saul Rubinek one time. And I brought up to him I used to watch NYPD Blue when it was on. And I referenced like the episode of that where he was on. He was like a crooked tax guy in it. And he sat there kind of wide-eyed and just went, I forgot about that. And then he literally said the same thing. He goes, if I have dementia, I'm getting you on the phone. No, I remember that. I
Oh,
had the HBO Cinemax package growing up. And I
was
would,
Murder Cycle on there?
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
that's how I saw it. It was, I'm
yeah, it's not like a
assuming,
go-to, hey, I gotta see this movie.
with a title, with me though, and a title like that, it was just like, well, my night is set. I'm watching Murder Cycle. Yeah, it was on one of the pay channels when I was growing up, and we had the HBO Cinemax package. But I saw some of yours too when I was in, when I was in school in the 80s and 90s, and I was in private school, K through 12, and we did watch. I remember us watching Second Glance.
What school were you at? Were you in a Christian school?
Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I did K through 12 in
Oh,
Christian schools. And so it was usually the days where the teacher kind of wanted a break.
gosh, yeah. Oh my goodness, that's hilarious.
So Second Glance was one that the teachers put on. Mainly a lot of Carmen music videos. Remember Carmen? Carmen
Yeah.
Licciardello?
I actually feel like they're doing the movie of Carmen right now, like like the actual, like whatever, a
A
tribute.
biopic?
Yeah, biopic. Yeah.
I'm down for that. That's the first I've heard about that. I grew up watching his
I'd
stuff.
actually like to see that. I hope I can't remember, I don't remember where I heard about this, but I hope who's ever playing him that they actually do it well, because that would be a fascinating movie, I think.
Yeah, I would be there. I'd be talking to my eighth grade teacher. She was a huge fan. So like uh on just days where like maybe it was before a holiday or maybe just we just didn't have a lot of work that day, we would she would put on Carmen videos, and in the back of the classroom had a Carmen standee, like she was a diehard fan. So I had done some videos where I spotlighted some of his music videos, and this was pretty cool where that
Wow.
teacher commented and was really glad that I had done that. And we almost got him in a movie one time. Um, yeah, I did. It was close. Like I was talking to his agent. We did a comedy about 9 years ago, and it was just simply scheduling conflict. He was on tour. Um, but no, I was always a big fan of that guy. Um, with this one, are there any more that you're kind of planning that are outside of the genre, or is this sort of like a test to see how the audience reacts to it, and if they react well, then
Yeah.
maybe every other movie, maybe more movies would be kind of outside the usual genre?
No, I mean, I actually, I've been trying to wrap my brain around this a little bit more. But because of where PureFlix was, I feel like that door shut.
Hmm.
When we got let go of Sony, when Sony basically said, "We'll take it from here," right? And then they turned, and are turning kind of PureFlix into a Christmas channel, because
Oh,
Bill over from who used to run Hallmark, runs Great American, and then they were like, "Oh, let's marry these two because they're the same thing."
yeah,
Um, I don't have a desire to make Christmas movies, or certainly not be in them.
yeah,
Um, and so to me it was like, okay, well that door shut. And again, I've always loved the action genre,
yeah.
and I feel like there's a lot that I want to do in it, in the mainstream action genre. And thriller a little mainstream, because this is actually an action thriller.
Hmm.
The one I just finished is just an action movie. There's no thriller to it. Gabe
Yeah,
Real Sabeloff is directing that one.
yeah.
And so yeah, I got actually a bunch of them that I've been working on this for several years now, with scripts, and have kind of some cool stuff in the works. So I'm excited. I'm hoping to shoot my next one in December. Um, and yeah, so
I I can't wait till I can watch action movies with my kid. Um, because like I grew up like that with my dad, and usually when I watch action movies, there is part of me that will compare it to like something that maybe me and my dad would have watched when I was young and growing up and everything like that. There's part of me that sometimes will rate them based on that. And with yours, it adds such a good pace to it. And again, anyone was pretty much fair game in the film to just not make it past the scene that they're in. And so I was getting a kick out of that because would again remind me of my dad and my dad also a really big action guy, and it would remind me of when we would it'd be like action premiere night on like HBO, and there'd be like a Brian Bosworth movie on or something
Uh,
like that, like that would premiere. So there is something like kind of nostalgic about that, certainly depending on the movie and everything. But since that was kind of me and my dad's favorite genre, um, I know I'm also like you. I just really like watching action movies, whether it's something that I'm putting up on VOD, something in the theater, something that I've still got like on VHS. Is that something that you kind of share with your kids too? Like you just have like an action movie night?
I would love to say yes, but no, my kids, like to have their phone night or their iPad night. Uh,
Yeah.
and we do, and my son is into sports, so I watch sports with my kid. But the interesting thing, I want to see what your thought on this is, I feel like there's three buckets of action right now. There's the bucket of Fast and the Furious, right? So it's like you got a car jumping out of whatever Empire State Building, and somehow it hits some things on the way down. It lands, and at the very much the highest part of this whole thing, it's almost like the new A Team. You got a little scratch. Like
Yeah.
it's so absurd that it takes me now. Like the last Fast movie was I'll just say, it was harder than nine to watch.
Yeah.
They just get harder. Eight was way easier than nine, and nine was easier than 10.
Hmm.
And so, like the absurdity is so much now. We're so far away from reality to
Yeah.
me. And then you have the other side of this, like you have action movies that are, um, it used to be a Jason Statham movie, but even Jason Statham's kind of gone away from. You have the far more blood, more sex, more everything, right?
Hmm.
And then you have this like middle ground that I think I've like even like A Line of Fire. I feel like is in this thing. It's not gratuitous on language. It's not gratuitous on blood. We still have blood.
Yeah.
We still have people dying. Like, I snap a guy's neck in this movie. Spoiler alert. But, we still have things like that. But I feel like it's a middle ground that you can. Somebody coined this. My PR person brought this up at some point and goes, movies that you could watch with your teens. Action movies you could watch with your teens. And I was like, I didn't really love that saying.
Hmm.
Feel like there's something there that it's more of it's a middle ground of reality or a believability. It's still an action romp, but it doesn't go off into the gratuitous lane.
No, yours is in the category. You're right. Yours is in the category too of a character that is relatable and also vulnerable. Certainly not what you were saying. Yeah, the Fast and the Furious movies, where it's like once you go into space, where do you go from there? And like that wasn't even the most recent one.
Yeah, that was like six or seven or eight
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something.
It was one of the later ones. And then they're like, okay, the next one, the car's swinging on the tree like it's Tarzan, and then the next one they're just driving down a dam.
Yeah,
And yours is and those can be fun for a while, but you
yeah, of
raised a
course.
good point where you were like, where do you go from here? Like once you reach a certain point. And I do gravitate towards action where there is certainly a character who can be relatable and vulnerable, like John McClane. Um, someone who, and your character, Cash, I actually noticed that I had it in my phone when I was watching it, which is that no, he gets beaten up quite a few times in this, and it comes across as real, like he's the character's the lead, so yeah, he's not. There's not a twist where he dies halfway into the movie or anything like that. But no, he like takes quite a few beatings to the face and is several scenes where he's just kind of limping around and does appear hurt. And that, again, the relatability, kind of going back to what I was saying earlier too, in that it sets it up to where this feels like a real guy who could exist in real life
Yeah. That's
versus.
what I think that's what that's what I'm going for in the process of I don't mind a little fantastic like, oh, that's cool, you know,
Hmm.
but but at the end of it, I think that for me anyway, as a viewer and also in it, is I gotta believe it enough that it's believable and a viewer can relate to it in some way.
Yeah. And I did. And I thank, being a dad for that too, that there are those little things that you pick up on that you might not have before.
It's sweet, isn't it? It does
Yeah.
end sweet too, the way with the kids and it's the trailer. There's no kids in the trailer, which my daughters are playing the kids in it, right?
Yeah.
Um, and that aspect of production was sweet to have your kids actually in the movie and they're there, but they're not in any of the art and they're not in any of the trailers.
Yeah.
Which is interesting thing when I was talking to Sony and the marketing team, they're like, "Oh yeah, we should play on that," and then they never got around to it. And also I think in part, um, it was it's just simple more about it's almost like Night Shift or it was Night Agent on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
Remember, he gets a call
Yeah.
and that drives him down to save this girl, and that's really just the straight if you just straight line what the movie's about, that's it, and then
Hmm.
capture all the bad guys in the process and figure out what's going on.
Is that pretty cool? Like, family days, you know what I mean? Like, you, the kids working on the movie. How cool is that where it is like this kind of family time, but then it's like, oh, wait, hang on just a sec. I got to throw this guy through a window.
That's that's funny. I think it is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Uh, and it's also stressful because you're more I think as a parent you just don't want your kid to screw up and then
Yeah.
other people to suffer for your like because you feel responsible. So now you're completely split of I got to make sure that I don't overwork my children because there's these things called SAG guidelines, Screen Actors Guild
Oh,
guidelines,
yeah, yeah.
children. And at the same token, we need another shot. So you kids, you're gonna have to stay longer. No, there's this balance of trying to of and I think my daughters and my son are really good at it, acting when they have to do it. I mean, they've been doing it since they were kids, right? I mean,
Yeah.
since they were really little. But you're also going, oh man, I hope they don't suck because I don't want people to go, well, that's nepotism. Look at his kids suck. Like,
Hmm.
what a downer for the movie.
Oh gosh, especially in this day and age when you've got like social media and comments and
Yeah,
riff shows like ones that I
exactly.
it's like I'll throw myself under the bus for that. But yeah, like just in the age of social media, like I get you where you're just sort of like, oh please, nothing bad come out of this.
Yeah. Let it not be me who destroyed their childhood because I put in a movie.
Let it be someone else's movie, please.
Exactly.
Do you, even though you've been doing it for a very big filmography and everything, and you have guys in this movie, Jason Patrick, Cuba Gooding Jr., do you still geek out a bit when you work with someone that I don't know if you'd met either one of them in the past, but someone an actor who maybe you've wanted to work with for a while, you meet them. Is there part of you that still gets a little starstruck when that happens?
Yeah, it's interesting. Like Cuba I had met in out at the restaurants and he has a one restaurant bar that he likes to go to in Brentwood. And so I had met him like two or three times there. And then he sent me a video like a year before this movie, maybe 6 months before this movie had started, and
Yeah.
said, "Hey, I want to work with you. a friend of ours in Miami had taken this video with him that I hadn't even seen or talked to in a long, long time. And then she did this video with him. And I was like, oh, I know I've always been a Cuba fan since Jerry Maguire. So
Oh yeah.
I was super excited to work with Cuba. Um, but again, it's I think there's a part of me that does geek out a little bit because of the Midwestern, being a Midwestern kid.
Same.
Like I still like I'm super excited about, like this last one we just did with Dolph Lundgren, and I was massive Rocky fan, of course. So
Yeah, same.
but yeah, but it's more real. I don't I'd like to say I do geek out a little bit, but it's not that much.
Hmm.
Like, and I like Jason Patrick a lot, but it was like I think the time kind of wears on me at least, so it's not like I'm in a movie with opposite Jason Patrick and it's not really changing my performance. I'm but
Yeah, I know what you mean.
sometimes, yeah, but I think before I had thought about that anyway, but it doesn't really do it.
Yeah, and
A long way.
Jason Patrick. Um,
But I think they're awesome, and in casting, that's where I'm excited by it.
yeah.
That's I think that's the most exciting was when they actually sign on. I'm so giddy.
Yeah, yeah. Do you sometimes like when an actor does sign on like that, does the role more or less kind of stay the same that it was, or is sometimes it maybe kind of tweaked to fit a certain actor's acting style, or maybe their role in the movie growing or vice versa?
Yeah. No, I mean, like Cuba, for example, brought a lot of color to his role
Yeah.
that wasn't really there. So he did that. Scott Baio was the same thing. Like it was a little role when Baio signed on. But I like the idea of it, and Matt Shapiro, the director, really liked Matt had always been a fan and had never worked with Scott before, and so he was like super excited. So and then I didn't even know, like, Bayo came on and he, comes in and shoots, he's an assassin. And he's like, I've never held a gun in a movie before.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, you've been in this business for 60 years,
Yeah.
been famous for 50 of them. Like, you've never had a gun in a movie? And he goes, nope, never shot anybody in a movie.
I'm hard pressed to, yeah, because I don't remember anything like that. And the once I grew up with it, like Zapped and movies like that, I'm like, yeah, I guess that's there's.
I was like, wow, that's amazing. So yeah, they did, the roles stretch a little bit towards the actor's strength, I think.
And yeah, you hit on a good point too, which is that they really did bring a lot out in those characters just by from their inflections alone, you kind of get a vibe of who this person
They're just great.
is.
Just
Yeah.
so great. And they're all like all three of those guys so seasoned. Even the girl, Katrina Bowden, you're right.
Hmm.
I didn't actually watch 30 Rock. I think I saw like one or two episodes. She was on there 7 years. And she was terrific in the movie. I think she's like
Oh yeah.
like she's great. Eve Richards is great as the FBI agent lady. Like it's different, but it's like it's cool. She was, it just brought a different flair to it. There was so many. I was pretty proud of the cast, to be honest.
Oh, Scott Baio straight up looks like an assassin in it. The second he shows up in the movie,
How
I was
cool
like,
does he look too? He looks cool too.
yeah.
Like super cool.
That's what shocked me a minute ago when you said he'd never done a role like that before. And like looking the second he steps in the frame in this movie, it looks like I feel like I get a vibe of this guy's past, and it's
Yeah.
very dark.
I mean, he's Italian, so he's
Yeah,
got that going for him. But it's
that's
funny to
true.
me that he hasn't been doing these things. Like I would think he would perfectly fit in, and all three of them were very, very gracious
Mm.
and just great to work with. So I couldn't have been more pleased with the way that how much they brought into it.
Oh, Jason Patrick had one of my favorite moments in this, and I don't know if this was intentional or not. This is kind of going back to what I said earlier about like Easter eggs of
Which
other
one?
movies. So you've seen War Room, right? The
Yeah,
Kendrick Brothers movie.
yeah.
There's a part in the movie where the Miss Clara character is talking about her coffee, and she's comparing it to how she likes her faith. She's saying like some people like it hot or lukewarm. I don't like my faith lukewarm.
Yeah,
There's a scene sort of like that in this with Jason Patrick,
on
where he
coffee.
the coffee scene, and when I was watching it, I'm going like, this is like the way darker version of if in War Room it was used as an action movie um villain like threatening point where he's talking to this poor lackey henchman.
That's hilarious. Yeah, the coffee thing was cool. Actually, Matt Shapiro wrote that. Him and Chris Covell were the writers on this, but primarily writers. But Matt brought that in on the coffee because Matt loves coffee,
Yeah.
and he brought the idea of it. And I was remember thinking, going, "Oh, that's cool. That's cool." You know, because you want your henchmen to have some other thing that they got going on
Yeah.
other than just being a bad guy. Like there's what are they, and the good actors always bring something to it, but it's better when it's written.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I think the coffee that is funny. Yeah, poor guy who's sipping it.
Yeah, maybe I.
I remember we were on set. This is a stupid little BTS thing, but we were on set and the guy was just drinking his coffee, and I
Mm-hmm.
said, "Hey." And this is like the first comment that I had given in the movie. Like primarily, I was always off. I try not to, as an actor, bring in or the producer. I'm the producer, main producer, not bring in my thoughts too. I let
Yeah.
the director do his thing and let the actors do their thing, and just shut up, David. Don't keep bringing. But that one, I was like, hey, what would be great is if you all of a sudden, when you were drinking the coffee, you were shaking
Mm-hmm.
because it shows this guy can kill you at any moment and you've completely screwed up. And so he did that. And of course it's in the movie and it's fun. It's like it's yeah, that was a good note. It was my one and only, I'll say, that I'm claiming.
And he was also drinking a dark roast too, so it just made the caffeine just made him a little extra jittery regardless.
Exactly. And it was 100 degrees in Miami when we were
Oh,
doing
you know what? I hear that. Like I'm a big coffee drinker, so that Midwest heat, I'll still wake up on the porch in the dead heat of summer being like, well, I got to function today, so I got to have my coffee.
Boy, iced coffee's got to be a big deal for you then, right? Because they when that got created.
Yeah, iced coffee is what I typically get on the go. If I'm at a con or something like that, then or if I'm on a walk, that's what I'll do. I typically more often than not do the hot coffee, just because it does focus me a lot. Like I my ADHD and everything,
More
coffee.
than the cold, huh?
I think it's the heat. I mean, maybe that's just like something I tell myself. I'm not sure. Maybe that part of it's
To
not so
suffer
much.
through this cup of coffee just so I
Yeah,
can focus more.
I got the ice cubes right there just in case I need something like that. But no, if I have like a long day of editing or if I got to write or something like that, then it focuses me quite a bit. Iced coffees is yeah when I need something refreshing. But how much more time do you got?
Like 10 minutes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I scheduled I guess I'll find out. I scheduled
it's gonna end at some point.
I went it to 1:15 when I made it the schedule of it last night, but I ended up getting the pro package. So I guess I'll find
Fancy.
out if it keeps going. But just in case.
Just in case exactly.
Yeah, it's like just in case. Is there where can people see the movie?
Yeah, it's out on Apple, Amazon, Fandango, and yeah, and other digital platforms. Smaller digital platforms as well. But those are the main big ones. Yeah, and it just came out, so super excited by it, and hoping, this is obviously it's Sony production or Sony release now, and so the obviously you hope that it does good. So
Yeah.
Sony calls and says, "Hey, why don't you give me more of these?" You know?
Hmm. Has the fan base taken to it pretty well in the comments and
Yeah, yeah. In the comments,
good?
it's been pretty good. Yeah. And that's, that I think that was more of my stress like a year ago
Yeah.
when I was doing it. Oh man, am I gonna, as I was raising money for it too, is like, oh, are people gonna hate me for, is it the God, is it Reverend Dave from the God's Not Dead franchise who's all of a sudden, an action guy? But people have been cool. People have been cool. And I think they also understand, I still feel like there's a lot of heart, like we had mentioned, there's a
Yeah.
lot of heart about parenting in this movie and allowing me to explore, corruption in the FBI, like how,
Hmm.
not that there's ever been corruption in the FBI before, but if there was, what would it look like, Uh,
No, I'm glad. I remember you mentioning that last time with Beckman, where you were worried, like, oh, are they going to be like, oh man, David's gone insane? What's going on here? But no, the comments that I saw when you posted your videos on Facebook and in Instagram, no, it seems like they're taking to the action turn pretty
yeah.
well.
Well, you know what? I mean, it's the number one genre in the world right
Yeah,
now. Action.
yeah,
So, I think as much as like people, have this idea that faith-based people don't watch, anything other than our PureFlix movies. No, they're big action movie fans, There's a lot of dads that like action.
oh yeah.
Faith-based, non-faith-based, whether they're Muslim, non-Muslim, whatever bent they have on their faith walks or not faith walks, I think it's pretty universal. The guy
No,
in Japan loves the idea of seeing action.
that is absolutely true. Because I mean, just me growing up, whether it was my family, whether it was the schools I was telling you about earlier, you know, going to Christian schools, and like, yeah, me and the teacher, I grew up a big movie guy, and me and the teachers would talk movies, and we're not sitting there just talking about, I don't know, the Ten Commandments or something
Yeah.
like that. It's like we're talking about Lethal Weapon. We're talking about even like cult movies too, like Army of Darkness or something like that. So yeah, no, there is a crazy. Yeah, no, that is true. That it's like they're not sitting there 24/7 watching Hallmark Christmas movies. Or
Yeah. I mean, there's some people that do that. There's no doubt about it. And I would say, not to, compartmentalize, but I would say the majority, more women are the ones who are watching the Hallmark Christmas, emotional, uh, those, and more men probably go towards the action element. Uh,
yeah,
but
yeah.
what a find when you find a woman who likes action.
Oh, absolutely. Quote Die Hard, like beginning to end, back and forth, and then I won't lie. During the Christmas season, sometimes I do find myself watching one of the
Actually,
Hallmark movies.
Well, I mean, you're making your pumpkin soup, so
Yeah,
kind of goes along with it.
it, honestly, it does. That's what all the commercial breaks are during them. Like you'd be watching a Hallmark Christmas movie, and then the commercial breaks are just a short cooking show. Like, ooh, I got more notes I got to take on this than when I'm reviewing the movie. But thank you so much for again reaching out. It's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Likewise, it's ridiculous that it has to take this long. But yeah, we gotta do this again, and you gotta be on my podcast. I want you on
Anytime.
my podcast for sure. And I'm gonna
Yeah,
get you scheduled in there and talk to the PR people who schedule these things.
I'd
Because yeah,
love to.
I would
It's
love you to come on to it. Are you
so,
ever? Where are you located these days?
I'm in Chicago.
Wow.
Um,
Oh,
yeah, I'm up in Chicago. I'm an Illinois guy. Grew up in central Illinois, but moved up here about 7 years ago.
what part of
So
Chicago is it?
in the burbs. I live over in the I'm still not great with directions.
What
Um,
burbs are you talking about? Which ones? Like Evanston?
Close. Yeah, close around there, close around like Naperville.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just kind of in that area. I just always like I instinctively say Chicago, but it's like 40 minutes outside of Chicago.
Yeah, it's Chicago area though.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Chicagoland, what we call it and everything. But it's never a problem for me to break away or anything like that because
I'm
I'm The site is my full.
Are you in Los Angeles ever?
Sometimes I go out there. My mom is from Long Beach.
Okay. Well, I
So
mean, I was just gonna say if you're out here, come on to my because coming studio on the podcast is always that's always fun.
oh, I'd love to. Yeah,
Uh,
I'll totally be there. Like my schedule is very flexible for
okay.
me. Yeah. We
Yeah,
do.
I'll give you a couple times then, and then we'll figure that out. Obviously we could zoom in. You can zoom in too, but it's kind of fun when you come in the studio.
I'd love to do it in the studio.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fun. It's a good team and there and everything else. But
I
anyway,
don't
all
have
right.
to worry about freezing at the beginning of the call.
Yeah, exactly. There's no freezing happening at that point. All right, brother. Thank you so much for having me, and appreciate you watching the movie too.
Of course. Thank you. And yeah, I'm free anytime. Just yeah, shoot me a message.
Okay, will do. Happy parenting, buddy. I hope your boy keeps sleeping.
Oh, let me check.
He's been
He's
up
he's
for
he's good and there's no legs caught in the bars. So
well done.
success.
All right, bro. Thank you.
Take care, man. Have a great week.
You too, man. Thanks again, bro.